One of the scariest boardwalk ghost stories comes from Atlantic City, New Jersey, the legend of the apparition of the Steel Pier. The ghost of Steel Pier, Atlantic City. Steel Pier, one of Atlantic City's most famous boardwalk attractions, has long been rumored to be haunted by a ghostly woman in white. The tragic story: in the early 1900s, a young woman named Lillian March was said to have drowned under mysterious circumstances near the pier. Some reports claim she was pushed, while others say she jumped to escape an attacker. Her body was never officially recovered, leading to speculation that her spirit never found peace. The hauntings. Visitors and workers at Steel Pier report strange occurrences. A ghostly woman in a wet white dress walking along the boardwalk late at night. The sound of splashing water and desperate screams near the pier, even when the ocean is calm. Cold spots and a feeling of being watched in empty areas of the boardwalk. Carnival workers claim that ride machinery malfunctions when no one is near, and some have seen a shadowy figure standing at the edge of the pier before vanishing. The creepiest encounter. In 2013, a group of tourists captured a blurry photo of what appeared to be a woman standing on the pier's edge, looking out to sea. Moments later, she was gone, yet no one saw her leave. Many believe Lillian's spirit lingers, eternally searching for justice, or her lost soul in the depths of the Atlantic. The Whispering Woods. Deep within the heart of the Appalachian Mountains lay the Blackthorn Forest, a place where sunlight dared not linger. Locals spoke of it in hushed tones, swapping stories of hikers who vanished without a trace, eerie lights that danced between the trees at midnight, and a low, mournful wail that echoed when the wind died. It was said the forest was alive and hungry. Alex Mercer had never believed in ghost stories. A seasoned backpacker, they'd scoffed at the warnings plastered on the trailhead sign: "Turn back. No rescue beyond this point." But as twilight bled into the sky, the forest seemed to shift. The air grew thick, the scent of pine replaced by something metallic, like old blood. Their compass spun wildly, and the GPS died with a static hiss. Then came the whispers. At first, Alex thought it was the wind. But the words grew clearer. "Leave. You don't belong here," and the shadows between the trees began to move. Not the playful dance of branches, but something sinuous, deliberate. Cold fingers brushed their neck, though no one stood there. Panicked, Alex stumbled into a clearing where moonlight pooled around an ancient oak. Carved into its trunk were symbols, weathered but unmistakable: wards. At its roots lay a rusted locket, half buried. Inside was a faded photo of a woman in 19th century dress and a note: "Forgive me, Eleanor. The forest took me too." A chill swept through the clearing. The air shimmered, and a figure materialized, a woman in tattered gray, her eyes hollow yet blazing. "You shouldn't have come," she hissed, her voice like crackling leaves. "It's been waiting. He's been waiting." Eleanor, the spirit explained, was the last guardian bound to protect the forest from the entity that fed on trespassers. She'd tried to defy it centuries ago, but the woods consumed her, trapping her soul. Now, she could only watch as others met the same fate. The ground trembled. Trees groaned as if in pain, and a guttural roar shook the earth. "It's coming," Eleanor whispered. "The warden of the woods, the one who hungers." Alex clutched the locket. "How do I stop it?" "You can't. But this might buy time." She pointed to the carvings. "Break the wards, and the boundary fails. The forest, it could spread." Her spectral form flickered. "Or use the locket. My bones are buried here. Burn them, and I'll hold it back long enough for you to flee." Twigs snapped behind them. A massive shadow loomed. A grotesque fusion of antlers, sinew, and glowing amber eyes. Its breath reeked of decay. Alex hesitated. Destroying the wards might unleash the forest's malice on nearby towns. But burning Eleanor's remains would doom her to eternal servitude. "Do it!" Eleanor screamed as the creature lunged. With a trembling hand, Alex struck a match. The bones ignited with an unearthly blue flame. Eleanor's spirit wailed, then surged forward, locking the beast in a spectral duel. "Run!" she cried. Alex fled, the forest howling at their back. They didn't stop until dawn broke, the trees thinning to reveal a highway. Behind them, Blackthorn was silent once more. Months later, Alex returned to the trailhead. The warning sign now read, "Closed by order of the Forestry Service." Yet as they turned to leave, a cold breeze carried a familiar whisper, "Thank you." In their pocket, the locket had gone ice cold. And far within the woods, a new oak sapling grew, its bark etched with fresh wards. Here's a chilling ghost story titled The Locket's Whisper, designed to unsettle even the bravest souls. The Locket's Whisper. In the autumn of 1893, Eleanor Hartley inherited Blackthorn Manor, a crumbling estate nestled in the fog-drenched moors of Yorkshire. Her great-aunt, a reclusive widow, had died under mysterious circumstances, her body found in the manor's attic, clutching a silver locket etched with strange symbols. The locals warned Eleanor to burn the locket, but she dismissed their superstitions. She needed money, and the locket's jewels glittered too temptingly to discard. The first night, Eleanor dreamt of a woman in a tattered gray gown standing at the foot of her bed, water dripping from her hair onto the floor. The woman's lips moved soundlessly, her eyes black voids. Eleanor awoke to the smell of damp rot and the faint sound of weeping echoing through the halls. Days passed, and the visions worsened. She glimpsed the woman in mirrors, her reflection warping into the ghostly figure. The locket grew icy to the touch, its clasp inexplicably stained with seaweed. One midnight, driven by dread, Eleanor pried open the locket. Inside was a lock of hair and a miniature portrait of a man she didn't recognize. That's when the whispers began. "You wear her shame." The voice slithered into her mind, relentless. Eleanor learned the truth from old parish records. Her great-aunt had drowned a pregnant maid in Blackthorn's well a century prior, blaming the girl for seducing her husband. The locket belonged to the maid, a gift from her doomed lover. On the final night, the ghost appeared fully. Water pooled at Eleanor's feet as the spectral woman reached out, skeletal fingers brushing the locket. "Mine," she hissed. The room plunged into freezing darkness. Eleanor's screams were swallowed by the sound of rushing water. When villagers broke down the manor door at dawn, they found the locket on the floor, its chain snapped. Eleanor was gone. The only trace was a trail of wet footprints leading to the boarded-up well, and the faint sound of a woman humming a lullaby beneath the earth. To this day, travelers claim the locket reappears in Blackthorn's ruins, waiting for its next keeper. Those foolish enough to touch it hear the whispers. And the drowned girl never stops searching for her child. Why it terrifies. Slow building dread with escalating paranormal activity. Isolation in a decaying, remote setting. Unseen horror, voices, reflections, temperature drops. Tragic backstory tied to betrayal and maternal rage. Ambiguous ending leaves the thread eternal. Let me know if you'd like another bone-chilling tale. Ghost.